All right, everybody, how are we
Phrasing.
sounding? Quick little voice, audio, dialogue check of things and stuff. Hello,
Mic
hello, everybody.
Things and stuff. Mic check, people. How we doing? How's it going? And thank you, everyone, for the kind words on the Twitters. Much appreciated.
Michael Chekhov. Michael Chekhov.
Almost sounds like a Star Trek character. Close. I do want to play. Travis asked about. They asked about Animal Well. I really want to play Animal Well with everything I've seen. Donkey's game, like for a Metroidvania, I'm like, I got to. I just don't know if I'm gonna get to it before Final Shape.
I bought it. I bought it. I heard great things from people on my team, and then I haven't had. I had. You know what's weird is I haven't had a ton. I'm in the middle of a review right now, and I've been working on it. But most of my day is spent doing this thing called planning a wedding.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, wedding planning.
Yeah. I really didn't expect to be this much of my day, but it has quickly become a lot of my day.
That part right there. Yeah, it's funny you said that. Anyway, we covered that. I interviewed Ducky. That was my first time meeting him, and then the studio head and stuff like that. And I remember teasing. I was like, on YouTube, like he's like notorious for like ripping stuff when he doesn't like it. Kind of thing. He's kind of hilarious. So I was like, what if it don't do good? Like, are you gonna be all right? He's like, I know, I'm putting myself out there, and it's the first time like he's really not ever on camera and stuff. Like he was super chill, completely opposite from what I thought he would be kind of person.
Who's that for?
But like, Donkey with the Animal Well.
Oh yeah.
I assume that he plays like a dick on TV, right?
Yeah, clearly different vibes. Yeah. I was just like, okay, I get it now.
That's what I assume, because I've appeared in a few of his videos.
Really?
Not like me, like he just uses, because he'll like make fun of like reviewers, and then he'll like use a clip from one of my reviews. But I've never taken offense to them. Like to me, they were always like him just kind of making fun of. I don't know. I just wasn't offended by them. There were some people who were like, "Oh, he's attacking reviewers," and I was like, "I don't care."
Not fair.
A lot of my friends really like Donkey, and I've never had a opinion on him.
Yeah,
I don't watch his videos.
Yeah, I didn't either. If it wasn't for Attic, I wouldn't know half the people in the YouTube. He's like, "Watch this. This is funny," and I'm like, "All right." But yeah, actually, the story is so Animal Well. I did check out.
Well, shall we get this thing started?
Yeah,
Let's
man.
do it.
All right, silence on the set in 5, 4.
All right, and we are live. The last word with LordCognito, Ebontis, Tie Guy, Travis, fresh on that Destiny Campfire Thursday evening kind of a situation. Lot going on. First, again, to the chat and everybody on everybody that kind of reached out, with the kind words. I really appreciate it. Obviously, lost my uncle and meant a lot to, see the realms come together, the campfires come together, the realms of the Dukes. So much love, and the service was beautiful. So thank you. All of the messages were greatly appreciated. But enough about me for now. I'll talk more about that later. But E, how are we doing, sir?
Doing good. Been playing Destiny and V Rising mostly. I'm like, I'm up to like mid 60s in gear level. I'm almost to the final act. I've got a few more bosses, V Bloods to go. For a game that I didn't really ever play in early access, if you haven't tried V Rising and the genre speaks to you at all, fantastic. Highly recommend it. And then I also am happy to say I have a new cushion for my booty. Got a chair.
Oh, all right.
So
what we doing?
Yeah,
I did a lot of.
Who's been blessed?
I did a lot of
with the rump of Ebontis.
Well, I did a lot of chair shopping, and then a while ago, like it could have been 5 years ago, I got like a refurbished like ergonomic chair, and it worked well for a while. Then I went to go check. I was like, okay, it's finally dying. The little handle things, and they cannot be repaired. Of the brand that I previously had, the arm things, you can move them up and down, but as soon as they get loose, the little like kind of lever that you would pull, you can't fix them. There's no bolt to undo. There's nothing. It's just, I don't know how they permanently lock it in there, but anyway, so I went to go was looking at like refurbished sites that I did, and then ended up just saying, I was like, hey, I'm like shopping for chairs. And I said it to you after one of the podcasts, and you're like, hey, And I was like, well, I'm looking at this brand and this brand. And one of the two brands I was looking at is the one that you were sitting in. And you were like, hey, talk to this person. So I reached out and ultra nice. Like, could not be nicer to work with. Really good customer service so far. So the brand is Hayworth that I'm sitting in, and it is a Fern. And they sent me the little, I have an Xbox chair now.
No doubt. Little Fern.
But the Hayworth Fern is the chair, and it is, it was between like
review.
So far, cushion. It's like there was a lot of steering towards like mesh seats for a while. Because if you want to sit in a DX racer, that's fine, but it's terrible chair for you. It's just like racing chairs are not good for you to sit in. And then they're like some, and then the other one that I had, it was Herman Miller. It was an Aeron chair, and that's like, so, I mean, that was the refurbished one I got, and it lasted for a while, but that had kind of the mesh, and they seem to be going back towards like cushions now. And then like the Herman Miller Embody. And then it's like the Logitech X Embody gaming one. That one was the other one, but it's so friggin' expensive. Not saying this is cheap at all.
Oh, not at all.
But the Embody is like another like, it's another like 50% more. But the idea is got a cushion, forward and back movement. The funny thing is it comes with forward tilt. And it's like 5 degrees. And I did not think, I was like, I'm not really going to ever use that. But I've actually put it there, and I'm like, you know, this is not bad, because one of the biggest things a lot of chairs will do, they have that front curve to them. You'll have a chair, but it curves in the front, so you get better like leg circulation. And depending on kind of where you're positioned, the little front tilt like helps that even more. So you still have a good cushion, but it just helps with like leg circulation. But the back is extremely well. It's like it's hard to show the backing in a video, but it's like I may actually do a full review of it at some point. But it's got like an open backing to it, which is good because I want to make sure a chair can breathe if I'm going to set in it. It's got the lumbar support, and just overall, like I've been sitting in it for a week, and it's been just so far extremely comfortable. Kind of everything I hoped for. I think the headrest is hit or miss for people. Can be removed. There's an aftermarket headrest I've looked at, so there are those couple of things. But overall, it's a very, very comfortable chair for me. And as I sit here for many, many hours, it is worth the investment. Same as like sleeping in a really good, like, are you going to spend money on a bed?
Mattress,
spend money on a mattress, spend money on a good chair. If you're sitting in something or laying in something for like a third of your life, then you may as well spend some money on it. So,
well, let me tell you, I know how that chair feels.
Here we go.
Because I know that butt that's in it, and it is not to be.
He does. Says GCX. He knows that.
Yes, it is not to be trifled with. And so, to you, good chair. I wish you the best of luck. You are stronger than I could ever be. And
the reverberations, Travis.
Rip. I'm gonna pour one out to that chair tonight because I think it's not gonna have an easy life. Are
you implying that the surface area?
I'm implying
You're saying I got a big butt when you call me got some junk in the trunk back there?
I'm saying some people have easier lives than other, and that chair is gonna be looking like it's 40 in a couple years.
Cool, then we'll match. We'll be good. I'll match my chair.
I have best of luck to you.
I'm done.
Not all heroes wear capes. Some heroes merely provide lumbar support.
Are you implying that he's a thick boy? Oh, that's what he's Lord Beefy Part 2?
I wouldn't use the phrase dump truck ass, but it wouldn't be inaccurate. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, the chat is wild. They're killing me. Hey, man, it's a beefy boy. You know, you gotta accommodate and get the correct posture and things to solidify the foundation. I think he's in good hands with Hayworth. They've got him covered. Bottom half should be all fine now.
I never know where quite to go from here, so thank you, Travis, for the eulogy for my chair over here. Like
Spidey says, Trav is not worthy, and I would agree with that. I mean, touching E's butt is sort of like trying to lift Thor's hammer. You either are worthy or you're not. And if you're not worthy, man, you just got to get out of there.
Like the only one who really gets to touch my butt is my wife in the other room, and that's it. So that's the
I
only
mean,
one. I mean, you tried to touch my butt and
You
it
definitely
fired
tried.
back. So, you know.
It fired back at me. So she is the chosen one,
Yes,
truly.
she is the chosen
we
one.
we all must live to her example.
I am done. It says it said like Milner. I'm done right now.
Anyway, very comfortable chair.
Nice.
So far. So there are a couple. They have quite a few different options. You can kind of build your own. The backing on this one is like the digital knit. It's kind of got a little bit of depth to the fabric, so it kind of gives a little more airspace and everything. But overall, it's just been extremely comfortable, and I'm just very happy that. So hashtag sponsored, hashtag ad. I will say that out loud. They did provide the chair for free. If you do want a link to be able to buy the chair, I do have one of those. But it is kind of one of those things, whether it's Hayworth Fern, whether it's something else, do research on a chair, see what you're going for. I watched plenty of videos out there, and this one kind of kept rising to the top with a couple others. See what you're looking for the chair for, see if it's got certain things like, is it wide enough? Do you like to sit cross-legged? Can the arms move a certain way? All of those things. Like, these are 4-way arms, and they're very movable. Some people are like, hey, when I grab the arm, but it moves. Or every chair is going to have its tweaks. Like, if nobody can design, like, the perfect chair, but everything I read, this one kept being near the top, if not the top, depending on the reviews. And after sitting in it for about a week so far, honestly, very minimal that I would change about the chair. And honestly, all the features on it work very well. And I'm happy to finally not be totally healthy, but I'm back to like walking the dogs, doing stuff around the house. I'm like 90%. Like I haven't. Yeah, I had like the flu.
Had the ladder thing.
Yeah.
Also. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Hey,
Dub the chair, Fern, Guardian of Ease, Badunkadunk. Thank you, 3 Geeks, honestly, with a $10 super chat.
I must say, I think the Badunkadunk is guarding the chair. To be honest, if I had to choose one, which was guarding the other,
like which one is the Guardian? That is the Badunk.
That's like saying Dwayne the Rock Johnson's bodyguard. You know, it's like who's guarding who?
Who's guarding who? Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, happy to be a little healthier. And I also went to see, my wife and I did a date night last night, and we saw Fall Guy. Great movie, absolutely like fun movie. Please, like, if it looks fun to you at all, it absolutely is. It's a great time. That's a fun movie to go see.
Nice.
So that's what I've been up to, Travis.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and playing Destiny, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to playing Destiny. Speaking of which, if it looks like during this episode I'm not paying attention, it's not that at all. It's that I have 122,000 legendary shards, and I'm currently playing Destiny, buying Lunalada, the combat bow that the gunsmith sells, for legendary shards, and then turning those legendary shards into enhancement cores. Oh, wow. And I'm going to be doing that this whole show because
stock exchange.
I got to get these legendary shards out of my inventory. And I don't like grinding enhancement cores, so here we go. Here we go, guys.
There you
go. I'm going to be doing while I'm idle right here during this episode.
I am mad at it. I am not mad at it.
Yeah, I have been playing a little bit of Destiny, tried out the new maps, did some private matches with some of my homies.
I got questions.
So I have thoughts on those. And I've not done 0 hour yet. What else did I do? I did something else that everybody was talking about.
You tried Pantheon yet?
No. Oh yeah. Yes, I did Pantheon. I did Pantheon last week, right after the show.
So you did the first two.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It takes a long time.
Yeah, it's a commitment. It's a commitment.
That's my biggest problem with it, and I didn't even do the full version, so it takes a long time, dude.
We'll get to that discussion.
Yeah, we'll get to that discussion. What am I doing? I'm reviewing Disney Dreamlight Valley. I played 120 hours of Fallout 76. Put my review live, so that is live. You can read that if you want to know how Fallout 76 feels in 2024, 6 years after its release. This is our third review of that game at IGN. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. And then I think my next review might be Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I'm not sure yet. I covered that one. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm getting that one to review, but I heard review codes are coming out pretty soon, and I'm trying to get Disney Dreamlight done pretty quick here. So yeah, got some stuff that I'm working on. Oh, also this week I could finally talk about a preview, an exclusive preview that I did for GDC, but because of game development issues, I don't get to talk about it until this week.
Okay.
But the game is Greedfall 2, The Dying
Mhm.
World, which is made by Spiders Studio that really enjoys BioWare games and makes a lot of their games inspired by BioWare games. And if you played Greedfall 1, it is a weird game that's like a colonial America, except magic and different factions, and it's a really cool game. My fiance actually just got done playing it herself. And the second one is coming later this year to early access. So IGN's got an exclusive preview on the game, a first look at it, which I did, and you can read it or watch it on
Nice.
YouTube. And yeah, that's what I'm working on. But I am playing Destiny, including right now.
Nice, man. It's efficient. Love to hear it.
Got a farm,
Hey,
baby.
he's honest with you. What are you doing? I'm doing a podcast and playing Destiny. I'm doing both.
I respect it.
All I'm doing is buying and dismantling. It takes very minimal effort, but if it looks like I'm looking above your line of sight, it's because I got a monitor right here I'm keeping an eye on.
Doing both.
So love you guys, but you know what? Someone's got to hold X sometime. I'm a busy guy. This is my only chance to do it.
I feel you got no macro. We got to do this thing.
Ebontis, have you thought about doing a stream where you just buy this bow and dismantle it?
I didn't know that specifically did that because I didn't think most of those would break down into enhancement cores.
Mm.
They all break down. It's 1 guaranteed, 2 is a possibility. So pretty good way to get rid of your legendary shards if you need to.
Nice.
Cog, what have you been doing outside of taking care of the family?
Yeah, this week obviously a little less gaming, but last week, shout out to these good friends at New York Devs, man. HF Studios, they have a top-down action roguelite called Let Him Cook.
Oh.
And it's this, so it's like Brotato and Vampire Survivors had a baby, and it's like a little chef. You're like this executive chef, and then you have like all these different food types. So you got like a Subway submachine gun. You've got like wine. You got all these things that it's like bullet hell. All these enemies come at you. Then you could get little assistance, right? So the cool thing about it is that there's actually a lot of detail. It's actually like Cuphead had a baby, like that music,
Cool.
Yeah, that art style, that music,
old-timey music.
Yeah, bro, for their first game, I was like, this is really impressive. Like, it's based on Unity, and we had them on ILP last week, and we debuted the trailer. I think it's Steam demo's out now for free, and I think they release it like the 18th. Yeah, the 18th of June. But I was pleasantly impressed because usually when someone sends me their first game, I'm like, all right, I keep my expectations low. I'm not gonna go. No, I'm like, bro, this is a level of polish and a lot of depth to the roguelike that I really like. So yeah, salute to them. As far as everything else, I've been still obviously play a little Destiny. I did last week's shout out to Stasis. I did last week's Pantheon, so that was done. And then we had obviously Oryx and stuff, which was cool. But this week I haven't tried. I saw you all, bro. I go front. I was hating. I saw the Rogue emblem. I was jelly. I was like, damn, he did it already. That's a flex. When you see that, I was like, oh man. So yeah, I got to get in there. And in the meantime, I just been grinding Warlord's Ruin, which surprisingly I have not done a lot.
Oh,
because
you're trying to get the bow.
Yeah, I didn't know, bro.
Crossbow. Yeah.
Bro, I can't get indebted kindness to save my life.
Oh,
I finally got the sign on for the first time. It's a whole different archetype. This thing hits like a truck. It's like a rocket launcher as a side on.
Mini rocket.
Yeah, I'm like, this thing is crazy. So the roll I got is garbage, just like surrounded in something else.
I don't even know what the good roll is. I have like 2. I'm not sure if I have a good one even
Bro,
saved.
that gun is like almost like my new primary. The roll is terrible and the gun is good. So imagine when I get a volt shot and all that other stuff. So yeah, I'm close to that, and I'm also close to finishing the quest where you got to get the blighted things. What does that lead to? Where in Warlord's Ruin Dungeon? It's like step 6 of 8. Get these blighted tinctures. Get this. Some drop from boss encounters. Some drop from just regular enemy fights. And all I know is I'm close to finishing that. But yeah, shout out to Sin, shout out to everybody that was helping me on that. And a random exotic. Oh, okay. I thought it was okay. So it's not giving me the actual bow. Okay. But anyway, I like this new archetype of sidearm. It's really dope. And I'm really excited to get in there with Pantheon. I've heard things, E. about that Rock encounter. That sounds very, very interesting. And obviously the minus. So I got questions for
I
you.
was like, do we want to talk about Pantheon? That kind
Let's
of,
just get it.
since we've
Yeah, because
all kind of talked a
you've done
decent
it.
about it now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had the first week, so that was see if I can remember. There's like Golgoroth. Then you go to Caretaker. Then you go to Explicator, and then you ended on Atrax for the first one.
Yes,
that wasn't too bad for week one. It felt like level wasn't too bad, just kind of refreshing you on mechanics. You saw where a couple. I will say it's funny. Basically, any place where they put.
Did I miss that version of it? You can't go back and play the other
No, you
version?
can go back and pick.
You can play the
yeah, you can go back and pick, but there are like each different one. It is just funny. No matter wherever the tormentors are put in, outside of Rolk, previously most tormentors are basically ignored.
Yes,
the groups that I've been with so far, they're just like, don't mess with them. Don't try not to even touch them, like if possible. So second week is the same thing, but then we added Oryx on top.
Right.
So that was the addition of knights that don't stop spawning, the bombs. Yeah, I will tell you, if the bombs come out, we wiped. We beat the one with the 2 Oryx shades in the bubble. That's when we beat it. But the bombs that like never stop until you actually shoot.
So, it's very difficult to avoid those.
You have to kill everything while they're going off. And it's just, I mean, it caught us off guard first. And if we knew, like, we had to plan for it and stuff. But the fact that you're always trying to be moving and then you have to shoot stuff, unless you have like Mountaintop or something that you can kind of like tag them on the fly. I was not set up for that. So we wiped a couple of times. Then when we finally got the shade, knocked it out. Like that wasn't bad. Whisper of the Worm, godsend on that. We did this week. It was Arc and Stasis, which is not really great for the mods. Have a funny story when we get to Rolk, but we'll get there. So Arc rockets for some. Whisper still worked better on Oryx. Yeah.
So and then still stuck with the solar burn, despite
stuck with just because the ammo, just ding, 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 it still works. Atrax is still everybody seems to be doing Parasite
Smash. Oh, Parasite, okay.
Parasite and like Parasite on one, and then Titan Smash on the other side.
Titans is OP in that encounter.
Titans work, but also Parasite. Like if you just make sure you get your 20 stack, everybody just dumps Parasite on the first hit, and it just clears that. Like Atrax is. Of the groups I've run it with, Atrax is not an issue. Yeah, not an issue. Like I'm like other people are doing the mechanics because honestly I forgot how some of that stuff goes. But I'm just clearing ads, getting my Parasite buff, tell me where to go, doing damage. Atrax is not the issue. Honestly, the Explicator, the planets, probably the hardest one for DPS up until Rolk, because Caretaker. Like, I usually end up being the runner, which I still do, which is funny. Even I was like, I'm a little rusty. And they're like, well, have you done it before? I'm like, yeah, okay, we're doing it. So did that one with the planets, or with the running for the symbols and everything. And then Caretaker comes out. And Caretaker's all about do a lot, not quite too much. And then it's like on the third plate, then you can kind of dump the damage to try and push him. And then if you can two-phase him. And that's the thing with the platinum scores is everyone is trying to two-phase and not mess with the timer and make sure you get all the points possible. I think we're like good on points, but it's like as you go through each encounter. But this week we got Rolk.
Before you get to Rolk, what are you using? Because I got to improve on my Caretaker DPS. I feel like I'm hurting the team. Like, what are you using outside of
probably
the burn?
dragging our team down, but
because everybody's like grenade launchers, and then like I don't know. I'm always like messing it up. It's like people get in front of my thing, or I blow myself up.
Okay, I'm gonna say this to everybody, and everybody probably messes it up at some point. But when you get to DPS, don't move. Everybody line up your rockets, line up your shot. If you're in the front, crouch and get out of the way. Get to a spot and stop. Outside of Rolk, which is why I love the encounter, because you have to move. Everything else, sit or like stand still or crouch. Do not move. Then when you're going to go touch another plate and get your damage on. So find your little position. And sometimes on Caretaker, if he's on a certain platform and there's like a thing in the way. But like you should not. Heavy GL, as long as you don't kill yourself, for him is probably good. I ended up digging through Vault, and I found for Arc, I had a Spike Grenade auto-loading Cascade Point. Or with a Wendigo. I had one of those. Don't even know when I got that thing, but I was like, I actually had something good enough. Now, funny story. So we got to Rolk, and we're working on Rolk. So we're getting the mechanics down. I was like, okay, it's been a minute. I ran that a lot before, so it's like I just needed a refresher. It's like, okay, so I was the splitter, had it. Okay, take it off, have it split. Okay, next person, shoot it back, and I was the one holding the buff. I was always that guy. Go through the damage phases, and we're working on it. And then it's like, it's arc. So first thing we tried was Thunderlord. Now, somebody else had heard that, like, Thunderlord, if you can have div on, you could probably two-phase it if you can kind of keep your damage on. But we were struggling with that. One person, while we were struggling with that, realized their Thunderlord was at 1600. It really wasn't cooking very much.
Yeah, that's not going to cook.
So if everybody is alive and everybody has a Thunderlord that's at proper level, it may be a tight option. And then you might have to like pop supers for final stand kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Maybe. And 100,000 legendary shards. Travis is totally fine with us talking, by the way. He's just sitting there.
He's good.
He's cooking.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm listening. Yeah.
So we've tried Thunderlord, didn't really feel it. Okay. We're like, all right, get your arc rockets out. So you got somebody running div, you got 5 arc rockets. We're working on it. Now the thing with Rolk is there's 2 Rolks now. There's a shade of Rolk that is wandering around. Now there's 2 smug jerks walking around, hands behind their back, giving you the kicks. Now the shade will not sprint. The shade only walks.
Okay, so he's
casually slow guy. But depending on if you're like jumping away from the one guy or the other, sometimes he will just catch you out of position and just give you the boot. So I do recommend on that one.
What you doing?
I'm trying to remember. A melee resistance is good to kind of survive the kick.
Okay.
So if you do get kicked, it's not going to just totally get you. And then I'm trying to remember what the beam damage is, and I honestly forget since it's so weird. But if anything's kind of giving you issues in there, whether it's a void or anything else, that wasn't too bad. Just the melee damage for the kick does help a little bit if you go for like resistance mods there. So rockets, we tried, didn't really love that one either.
Really?
Then, and again, it could have been just unoptimal. I was running a slow one, but we just altogether weren't really doing that great, it felt like. Finally switched over to grenade launchers paired with like a sniper rifle kind of for backup. And then div. So I busted out, what was I using for? So I had my supremacy for a sniper.
Nice.
With all of the like raiding and stuff going on, I actually got supremacy unlocked for crafting. But I didn't have it before, so I got that one done. And I pulled out a couple of my, I think it was like one of the deep sight harmonizers from like last season, so I got a little used for one of those. So I had that, and then I had an auto-loading Cascade Point Wendigo. Well, if you sit there... Oh, no. Okay, so sorry. Wendigo was the legendary. Didn't go Supremacy. Cloud Strike.
Wow.
Cloud Strike for a DPS.
Get out of here.
Nuh-uh, not at all. So primary just to take care of the basic guys. Because remember, on Cloud Strike, when you get it, rapidly landing precision hits. Div, Cage, makes the precision hits easy. Gives you triple tap, so you have a lot more ammo to shoot, and then you've also got the storm coming down, rapid precision hits, so you're going, dun, dun, and it's just about as fast as I can fire it. And then as soon as I switch over, Cascade points up for my grenade launcher, and it's like, doot, 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 doot. And then I switch back and forth between those two. And that's finally when my DPS came up. Because I will say, like, with the group I was in, I was struggling on DPS. I was definitely not doing as well as I was doing bad on... I was doing bad.
You know what I like is the failure trap, like with the failed attempts.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then it's that uncomfortable
wipe for DPS. I'm like, it's me.
Everyone looks at the numbers.
The worst.
And the worst feeling is when I know I'm part of that low number group, and they like, bro, what are you using?
Oh yeah, they're checking your inventory, checking your.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you was gonna say something.
I was gonna say the worst silence is not when people are checking DPS. It's when like you screwed up part of the ritual, and everybody had to wipe.
Yeah.
And you admitted it was your fault. Like you're like, oh, it's my fault, man. It's my fault. And then there's like that long black screen while it's reloading.
Yeah.
And if nobody's talking during that, and you just
already know it's problems.
Like
Oh no, I had I mean, there were points on Explicator.
And then I just slip in an extra. Sorry again, guys. Sorry about that.
I've done that.
No, it was like Explicator.
That was me, y'all. That was me.
Explicator, I feel like I've got occasional issues on if I'm like running symbols. Now, I will say, like, there was one point. It's so funny. Everybody wants to play the blame game. It's just part of how rating goes. Everybody's going to do a little bit. But at one point, there, it was actually Cactus was like, "Can you guys clear some ads?"
Oh,
and I'm on ad clear, and I'm sitting there at the end screen. I'm on the end screen, and I'm just sitting there like, I've got 103 ads cleared versus everybody else. And again, Cactus, I was like, you just got to blame somebody. He's like, well, yeah, I'm not going to blame me. So of course.
How Cactus, Citizen's that for me, right? I go with Citizen check me one time, but he's like, bro, these ads. And I'm like, I'm doing the best I can. Look at my ad score.
I'm like, no, I'm killing everything.
Put me on the Tuscan board to help me with Explicator and the main part to clear out some stuff.
No, honestly,
but prior to that, he was going around with the planets, and he as a hunter, he's fighting for his life. So it's funny when you get the ad call out, when the ad clear dudes they are frustrated with.
I was wiping out it's just one of those moments where like they jump off and they spawn at the same time. Yes. I'm like, I'm clearing them because I had tarnished metal with volt shot and rapid hit. So I'm just like lightning chaining everything on either side. I'm like, they're dead about as fast as I can find them. You just had bad timing, but I'm like, get off my ass. I'm like, I'm clearing ads.
Bro, I'm like, yo, they're spawning them. I'm sorry, get Trav. At a rate that's crazy.
Yeah. A lot of the ad people who take ad clear, though, they just assume that means they don't have to do anything in a raid. You guys ever know that? Like, I'm talking about like when you're playing with like a random team, it's like, oh, I'm at ad clear, so I don't have to do anything. And I used to do this thing where like I would wait until we wiped when I knew that somebody who was on ad clear just was not doing their job. Yeah. And I would wait until we wiped, and then right before it showed the stat screen, I'd be like, hey Cog, what role are you again? What are you doing? And he'd be like, and then I wait for him, and then he'd go ad clear, and then it would pop up and be like 8 kills, you know, and I'd be like, I was just like, hey, what's your role again?
What you doing?
I'm on ad clear, and then it just shows 8 kills, and I'd be like, oh, 8 kills, yeah, got it, totally, you're on ad clear. For sure.
I am impressed with myself. I have to admit, the only time I'm really relegated to that is planets. I admit, planets, Explicator, I'm just not that guy in that encounter, right? Now, if you want Gorgoroth, I got you. I'm unstable light. We moving, help out in the gaze, cool. Oryx, boom. I'm on the plate. I'm the ghost guy. I'm the ghost. Where I'm going, R1 to L1. Okay, I'm your guy, right? But it's that encounter planet, and do not ask me to jump in that room and caretaker.
Symbols?
Do not ask me to go in there in that dark room.
I've just run that too many times. I got used to it. It was I think it was me and I can't remember if it was me and Nomad or me and TV who were symbol running, and that's where it was that raid where we came up with like Green Floyd, and we had just some fun call outs and stuff like that. There were some fun call outs in there. Running back through that, I kind of remembered. Yeah, nobody wants to hold the caretaker's like pull his.
So your favorite is going inside, getting the symbols and that. So let me ask both of y'all.
Nobody wants to do that, so I end up doing it, and I've done it enough. I'm comfortable.
Got you.
The mechanics rolls are the best parts, I think, because if I wanted to just,
I don't want to be bored.
Right.
I would play. I get that.
I'll pull gaze. I used to. Well, in D1, I solo pulled gaze.
Wow.
Well, you could do it with like a heavy machine gun, so I'd be like,
You've always been pulling gaze. That's one of your skills.
Hey. Anyway, gaze.
He pulls, dude. He pulls.
He pulls, man. He pulls.
Is that supposed to make it sound less gay?
No, not really. That was probably worse. Yeah. Gaze.
Y'all messy.
Like Chris Tucker right now.
The bad Z's on that.
But yeah, I was like heavy machine gun. I used to, and I would be like, I've got it. Go down, and because you would only have to do like one. You would only have to do like one bubble until they like change the strats up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it worked, so I could do that. So I'm used to pulling gaze. It's always just the trade. I know you can't say it now.
I'm sorry. I'm
pulling Golgoroth's focus.
Golgoroth.
There you go.
You guys did a full sentence.
No.
That was funny. Continue.
That guy always getting the laughs out of chat here.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm immature. I fully blame myself.
3 geeks. I got that reference. Thanks. So I was like, but I'm kind of with Travis. If I can be part of the mechanics, I would rather be, because it makes a lot of it more fun generally.
Yeah. I got you.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
Nezarec, I
What you
was the
tend to do?
one running the sides.
Mhm.
Like I was one of the two
Yep.
kind of trading the symbols and stuff.
I got you.
Which is more fun because I've been I've jumped in and been relegated to here, shoot stuff, and I'm just like, yep, I'm here, I'm getting my loot. I'd rather be involved.
Got you. So for Rogue, what do you prefer to do? Like you like to hold on to the what you call
I've
it?
done
the
all of
Revenant
it.
thing?
Like when we
Yeah.
used to run it like more on a more weekly basis, I've probably done most of it. I mean, whether
Right.
it's the symbols or dunking or splitting or calling out, I think there's a decent amount of like everybody's kind of got to have a little bit of a role in that.
Yes.
There's not much downtime. Now, when you get up to Rogue's platform, somebody, I mean, I've done the symbols, and then I've, this time I wasn't running symbols because they kind of already had somebody, but
Yeah.
So when it comes to our world of DPS, I had a bit of a goof because it's Arc. So I'm like, okay, I'll grab an Arc grenade launcher. We switched over and I was like, man, why is my DPS just absolute trash? I grabbed Hullabaloo, which is a waveframe grenade launcher, and I didn't realize it at the time. So I'm hitting him. I'm like, I'm only hitting him for like 12K. What is going on?
What Cactus said?
Oh no! And then I was like, "What are you running?" I'm like, Arc grenade launcher. I got Hullabaloo. They're like, Hullabaloo's waveframe. I'm like, oh my god, you're right. I'm sorry.
No. So you're shooting the floor?
No, I was shooting him, and I was probably bouncing it off of him.
That's hilarious.
The funny thing is we were getting like kind of pretty efficient at that point that we almost did it with my screw up. So finally when I switched 2 attempts and we were done. So like I had basically practiced us up for everybody else to be really efficient. So finally when I brought real DPS, it was over. Which was good because honestly kind of ironed out the kinks. But yeah, Cactus is over there like, what are you running? Sorry, wrong thing.
That's hilarious. That is funny. Hullabaloo. That just sounds wild to me.
No, I was just like bouncing it off. I was like, my weapon's not working. Thanks, Sen. That was funny. But I will say next week. So next week we're gonna get Nezarec and Riven. I don't know if I think you get them both because
contest mode.
Yep, it's -20. Jesus. I don't know if it's quite. It's really really close to contest. I think the hard parts are going to be Explicator for DPS.
Oh hell yeah!
Nezarec for DPS. Not Nezarec, sorry. Rogue. I think it was like Rogue. Nezarec probably will be more staying alive, I think, when it comes to contest.
Yeah, alive.
And then Riven, if it's real, I think is probably what throws everybody off.
That's going to be the question.
All I can say is if we do start raiding next week, can it not be at 9 o'clock my time? Because then we went to like 1:30 in the morning. I was with the group. I was going to finish it. So it was done on Tuesday, which worked because then I had my date night yesterday. But it was more the idea that I was like, can I not start at 9? I would much rather start early. It worked. I got to play 0 hour, which that's in the game now too.
Yeah, I can't get in there yet.
So I'd probably run it like 4 or 5 times now because I made a guide on it. I got my solo normal down to like 30 minutes. And then I saw like Mano ran that thing 1,000 times. He knows it like the back of his hand. I know SO, they've already done solo legend, but I mean, solo legend is going to be because even on normal right now for me, and I got to obviously be a little more optimal when it comes to, because the one major change they made is on 0 hour, he would kind of be up at the front of the room and he had the void shanks. And then over here, he'd have the arc in the back of the room. He had the solar, and then over here at the arc, and then he'd come up. Well, now you do damage to him when he gets down to about 1/5 of his health left, somewhere in that like 5th to 6th, somewhere in that low. He bails. The 2 tanks show up. Have to kill the tanks now. When the tanks are down, he comes back in a giant brig, full health again.
Wow.
So I got to where I did it in about 30 minutes out of 40 minutes, which is like plenty of time for normal to be done with. But man, legend difficulty solo, I'm gonna have to go look up a guide and figure out what works for me because Mountaintop did help. I had an auto-loading Mountaintop that I've got, so it was able to just kind of chunk damage the brig. There's no crit on a brig. So, I mean, if you're going to bring Whisper for damage or Sniper for there's not a great way to just take a chunk out of that guy.
Yeah, absolutely right.
I had Pyrogale to put a decent amount of super into him. But also when the brig spawns, the servitor spawns. So the servitor might be shielding him, so then you got to stay in the back. But you can't stand still because the brig is now like raining down fire on you the whole time.
Oh, gosh.
So it is.
They say Dragon's Breath is goat in there.
I was wondering, honestly, I haven't tried Dragon's Breath, but that might really be the way to go. Kind of keeps me in my solar build as well.
Yeah, might go solo. All right.
And if you don't forget about
Which one?
the scout rifle that you have like infinite ammo on. Solar one.
All of them?
Oh, I know Polaris.
Polaris, yeah. Don't forget about that, especially as just kind of like a backup option if you're low on ammo.
Yeah. Yeah, because
So
that room
it's-
heavy gets a little stingy in there.
Yep. Yeah, but you have plenty of special. That's why Mountaintop is a good thing to bring with you because it's able to. So I have an auto-loading Vorpal Mountaintop. It's probably not the best, but it's solid.
Yeah, solid.
I still don't have my
Nice.
Recluse I want. Still don't.
You just try to get the destabilizing.
Destabilizing repulsor. Yeah, still have not. I've had that thing focused for the whole time, and I still have not got one of those. I don't care about the other two columns, but
yeah, still some unlucky combinations for me as well.
Yeah, played a lot of Destiny in the last 48 hours.
Nice.
What about you guys? How's your Pantheon experience been? Like when you knocked it out, how'd that go? How do you guys like the changes? Do you feel they're just like throwing a tormentor in and saying, "Here you go, have fun"? Like, where are you guys at on everything so far?
I'll let you try. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought some of the changes were cool. Some were just like, you have power creep, so here's some random stuff to fight. I think it's a cool mode. I think it's better than Gambit, so
Yes,
probably has more place being one of the quote pillars of Destiny than Gambit. But I know it's going away.
I know.
I hate that. That's such a shame.
I think it's smart. I think it's smart. You don't want to split focus and have people playing old content, but it'll obviously be back, right? It's like
this is too popular.
Like Onslaught. It's gonna come back. In what form, or if they'll switch up the the order or which encounters are included or whatever, remains to be seen. But I think it's cool as a 1.0. I think the way scoring works is kind of stupid, where it's by encounter. That's kind of surprising to me. You'd think it would be like by the entire run, right? But instead you can kind of take your time, and as long as you get each encounter done, it counts. I think that's kind of weird.
You would want you're almost asking for like one big run of score.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
As
it was
opposed to multiple attempts on each boss, kind of thing.
Yeah, because when you do a boss rush, it's treated as like one's a marathon run. And it kind of feels weird as like smaller sprints where you can work on it and finesse it a little bit. Maybe that's more charitable to the players, but it does feel less like a true boss rush contest mode to me. So
I mean, that would definitely be more of a challenge to get that like high score. Depending on if you had multiple runs, you could get through a couple of bosses. But the way like raid encounters go, and also you gotta remember, because there's certain times where we're going through and it's just Rolk hangs out in midair, it goes back to the platform. There's enough random glitches sometimes in the world of like Destiny encounters where, like, if you're going to go for a run through a Nightfall strike and you got to, go through that once, it's different if you're talking about, a full hour of raid mechanics all working correctly and nothing bugging out or breaking. That would kind of be my one argument, to where sometimes the game is going to work against you, and that would kind of suck to lose like 2/3 of a full run through and have your score be screwed up. That's kind of the only thing I would probably go. But I mean, I get what you're going for.
Definitely. I think that's fair. Yeah, it's still, it would be that's sort of more of an unfortunate, like, I wish Destiny worked better problem.
Yeah.
But I would say philosophically it's kind of weird, or at least do both, right? If you want to have rank on individual encounters and then a rank overall, I think that makes sense. But yeah, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and I was kind of like, I wonder why they made that choice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's been a pleasant surprise. I thought that it's interesting, the encounters they picked. I thought that was very interesting. I wanted to know like what went behind the choices on certain ones. I actually like it. I'm still mad at them at Explicator, because I hate that encounter with all my life. It's such a DPS check. But
it is.
as far as Gorgoroth, they obviously I do like the 2 unstable light mechanic. It just adds a little frenetic nature to it. All right, who's got to get out? Got run to the left, run to the right. I don't like the glitching of Gorgoroth though.
No, they said that in chat, and just trying to get him turned. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
people aren't hiding or not taking the gaze or however much. It's just, yeah, Golgoroth is very unreliable to try and get
Yeah.
him to do relatively what you want to do. And then
Yeah.
I feel like there were more of the Axiom darts coming at you. If you were
Yes.
holding his focus, it felt like more. And then what kept killing us was the Minotaurs up top.
Yeah.
So the Minotaurs that spawned, they were not there before. And so the Minotaurs that are trying to kill the people that are holding his focus, you barely have enough time to try and take out the Axiom darts as they're looking at you. And then you got multiple Minotaurs you got to take out and then get to your position to try and get the focus again. It's a lot. And then as questionable as that whole arena is, sometimes it's just a little much. I'm glad it's first so you can kind of get through it, but it is a bit annoying. Damage doesn't ever seem to be too much of an issue, but just the staying alive up top is rough.
Yeah. What I will say is I do like what I consider the bonus DPS mechanics, where it's like, okay, use your class item, everybody, to get a little 10% class ability, to use, that. Or like, hey, 1 week it was like almost like a bait and switch with a primary. Shoot the primary and then you get a little 30. So they're doing things to try to offset, a lot of the power stuff, as well as, all these little new factors that they put in each encounter. So yeah, so far so good. I want to see how it's gonna go this week. I gotta definitely get up in there, and I gotta see next week how crazy that's gonna be with both Nezarec and Riven at that power level. It should be crazy, but it's super rewarding. That's the thing I like the most.
Yeah, you're getting
like,
a lot of drops, a lot of red borders.
Oh, the spoils, the red borders, the adepts. Like it really.
I got Touch of Malice and Isa tomorrow,
bro. Oh, you got it done. Yes,
nice. Screw you.
All the unlucky. He said, "Screw you." He just went to Walmart and said, "Thank you."
The only thing I will say is like the fact that you have to go through these gauntlets of bosses and they're getting more difficult each time.
Yeah.
If you are getting exotic at the end, I feel like you are actually earning it. So as you go through a couple of these, the first one was easier. But as you get like higher and higher difficulty, I feel like you're definitely earning these exotic drops.
Yeah, they're putting us through some stuff, man. Putting us through some stuff. But yeah, that's my early impressions. I likes it.
Yeah, it's a fun way to do it because a lot of the raids only have, you don't have bosses in every encounter. So then if you're truly, some people are always asking for Destiny raids to have more bosses. This is just all your bosses all smashed together. So it is kind of the want of a lot of the people for raid encounters, just a lot of boss fights. So I don't want to go through, when it comes to Destiny articles this week, we got a big tuning preview for the final shape. And then we also got the TWID that had some previews for exotics. We'll get to those in a little bit. But I don't want to go through every single number for the TWID. It's boring. I don't want to do it. Yeah. It's a lot. If you want to go watch any of the videos that talk about it, there's plenty of people who do. It is funny to see the Twitch directory right now because it does seem that everybody went out to Bungie to go see something.
Wonder where they are. What are they doing?
There's got to be some, because you can tell, like on like not Tuesday, but like Wednesday, the Twitch directory that is normally online at reset time that would do, none of them are there. I'm like, wonder where all of you went at the same exact time. That's so strange. I can't quite imagine that people went somewhere. And it's probably one of those where they get to play the final shape mission, and here's the first preview, blah, 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 blah. We'll get to see it. I will say, I don't know what they're going to get to see, because that does definitely seem like what's going on. But it's also one of those to where it's weird that they will show a campaign mission when we only get so many of them in the first place. You may as well see them fresh when you play through the game anyway. But, everybody wants to see new stuff, so they will. What were you going to say, Travis? I feel like you had a thought.
Oh, no, I was just lamenting the Bungie stuff.
Yeah. We won't cover why. I know.
Yeah.
Did you look through a lot of the Sandbox cock? Oh, sorry. What, Travis?
They took the bow away right in front of me.
Has it been patched while you're sitting there doing it?
Oh, really?
Yeah. They patched it right in front of you. Because, it's not supposed to drop like that.
Now he sells Whispering Slab.
So now, no, he was buying something for legendary shards. You don't normally break down a basic weapon and you don't get enhancement cores for it. That's not normally, that is not supposed to happen that way. So it's one of those weird things that came through the shop that was working.
So everybody was in there hustling. I ain't mad at you.
Why do I play this game? Really? Why do I play it? What is the point of this?
Hey, you got like a good chunk of your shards. Yeah, Bungie's watching.
Oh,
and then,
Bungie!
See, why'd you have to say it?
They did this to see me rage in real time. God, dude, they literally just swapped it out right in front of me.
I didn't even realize that was a thing. So you was getting them enhancement cores off that. That's crazy. I needed enhancement cores. That sucks.
I guess I'm gonna stick with 72,000.
You can turn those
legendary
into
shards.
You can go to the moon and buy the something. What is that stuff? So you can turn that into glimmer later if you want to. That's the other thing you can do with it.
Punch me in the face.
Phantasmal fragments, at least, so you got backup glimmer if you want it. That's the only other place you can really put them at this point. You could have backup glimmer, so you can go back to spinning them somewhere.
Fine.
Teddy says it happens every few days. One will come up that works. Usually take them half a day to change it. You might store up some glimmer. You might save up some other. You got 2 weeks.
How many cores do I have? That's a great question.
Yeah, what are you up to right now? Because if you were dumping that many weapons.
I have 1,423. 1,423 of these boys.
Like, I have 2,400 enhancement cores. I'm okay.
Wow, you have more than me.
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
Yeah, but you know what? I had 200 and something, 240,000 legendary shards last year. So I've been whittling these guys down. Anyway, all right, there goes that. Punch me in the face. Thanks, Bungie.
So when it comes to some of the changes, I'll kind of like skim through. One of the big ones is, so they rolled a set of spec mods, Dragonfly, Surrounded, and Rampage into the base functionality of those perks. So those are not things that you can pick now. And now they're doing that with the rest of the spec mods. Boss spec, Taken spec, Minor spec, Major spec, Adept spec. And they basically increased the base damage of almost universally, except for a few weapons that were overperforming, so they didn't. And they've retired the mods. Most of those mods were about 7.77% or whatever they were. Taken spec, I think, was 10. Adept big ones was just all of them. So you don't have to mess with those mods anymore, which isn't all bad if they're buffing the weapons to kind of give you a little bit of option, because now when you go to pick your mod, you're not saying, hey, I may as well get more damage, because why would I not? So now you can do things like quick accessing if you want. Backup mag, I think, is going to be for a lot of people.
That's going to be a big one.
That one, outside of those, backup mag's probably one of the biggest ones that you're going to see, which then again turns around into something else. What should the proper magazine size be if you feel like backup mag is the only way to go? And that's just kind of where, you're always probably chasing that one. But that is one of those things where you don't have to worry about boss, taken, spec, major, minor, champion, all of that chaos anymore. That's the nice thing I will say too. You don't have to worry about on champions, do major mods or boss spec mods or this or that or the other.
That's why Adept big ones was lit though.
Yeah, I mean, that covered everything. So that was always nice. But you don't have to worry about that now. They said we were already happy with the damage output of exotic primaries and trace rifles, so we only slightly reduce their damage bonus versus red bars. In most cases, this means their damage output is roughly unchanged for exotics against red borders. Reduced damage bonus versus minors from 40% to 30%, because I think they universally buffed most everything. But yeah, the fact that those mods are going away just gives you a little more freedom to choose something that isn't just the obvious more damage. It's what you always want. So that seems very simple. So they go through like all the little percentages of everything. If you want to read that stuff, you can. Changed a couple quality of life things. If it is a burst item, there are 2 bursts, which are heavy bursts, so sidearms, hand cannons, pulse rifles. 3 burst is adaptive burst, sidearms, linears, adaptive pulse rifles, and then 4 bursts, data rifles, my guy, go figure, and blast furnace and stuff. That's your pulse rifles. Exotics, trying to remember some of the big ones. Let's see.
Remember your dad rifles 20%, bro. Pulses got really improved. People were complaining about using them as primaries. And looks like, they're the biggest beneficiary. 20% PvE damage.
They're one of the big ones. Tracer rifles against majors, 20%. Also there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple big ones standouts. Let's see, increased damage versus miners. This stacks with the base damage. Sidearms, tracer rifles, scout rifles, and bows, 20%. Lets your scout rifles in higher difficulty activities do a little bit more damage as they should. Bows should one tap most of the little red borders or red bars, and when they don't, that's annoying. So hopefully that's just little stuff to probably make things feel about right as you look through. Kind of seems like they're going in the right direction. So exotics, I'm trying to remember. Necrochasm's getting an update.
Yes.
So increase the duration of the burn applied by the Cursed All Explosion by 1.5 seconds. And damaging 3 combatants in quick succession provides a period of increased damage, range, and assist. So if you just like spray and pray, you get a little boost.
Yeah.
Osteo did get a bit of a hit. Osteo got nerfed, so now has a 4-second cooldown on the poison burst on kills. Poison burst from sustained damage doesn't change. So it's only if you're getting kills from a lot of those that would spread to everybody, that's going to have a bit more of a cooldown. Will be less effective for just, melting the whole room. Lament got hit, so they reduced the healing effect. So that one's not quite as strong. Colony, that's going to be an interesting one.
Very
Now
interesting.
spawns additional insectoid robots on final blows. More robots up to 5 spawn from tougher combatants. Now, I don't know if I'm still going to ever use this thing for, say, like ad clearing or anything like that. It still seems like there's no way. No way I'm going to. Yeah, it's like I'm not thinking that thing's still going to be like a PvE DPS god or anything like it's just not.
I will say, in PvP, that joint's annoying.
Yeah.
Like, you get hit with Kali, you're mad at that person.
Oh, I know.
Now
You're just like,
get kills and they get more.
What are you doing to me? Truth has fallen behind. So area of effect damage is basically bigger since it doesn't have area of effect, but they increased the total reserves by 3. And I know it has 3 in the chamber. I still don't know if that's going to be amazing, but see how it goes.
Yeah, it goes.
Queenbreaker is a little stronger. Like ammo and reserve, like DPS. What was the other one? Ariana's Vow.
Yeah.
Breaking a matched shield or piercing a champion's barrier will cause the target to just straight up ignite, which is cool. Deterministic Chaos is now intrinsic anti-barrier, and also they swapped the volatile and weaken, which actually makes sense because the volatile on medium targets, you can kind of get the volatile to happen more often, and then if you're shooting something for a long time, the weaken will be the later addition.
Oh, this is that whack one they debuted at Lightfall. It's the whack void heavy machine gun. It was like weak enemies. I'm like, this is so garbage. Oh, this is that one. Okay, so now it's anti-champion by default.
Anti-barrier.
I mean, it's anti-barrier by default. Nice. Okay, and then they got so they switched it. Okay, got it. Got it. All right,
the volatile will be more frequent, and then weaken if you're just DPSing something, the weaken will kick in, which makes more sense. That'll be good.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
They messed with some perks. Chain reaction is too strong.
Yeah. We knew that was
a
coming.
Special. It's about 15% smaller AoE and 20% less damage. I mean, little red border is probably going to die still, I would imagine. But you're shooting 2 out there and just like double wave framing. You're still probably going to kill most of that stuff. Now AoEs for heavy, same AoE, but 30% more damage on heavy wave frames. So we have the Bullabaloo by prime example. I'm an idiot, and then also the it's the Stasis one. I think that's that Lightfall one too.
Yeah, that one from Leomuna.
Yeah. Osmosis and permeability, they're like, they don't.
Travis having a good old time right now. I don't know why he's having a good old time, but he's having a good old time.
What he is cracking up about.
Yeah, nervous. We clearly said something that did something that was very questionable.
No, it's unrelated.
Something else.
My fiance is
wedding planning stuff.
No, she's at a restaurant with her coworkers, and she drank the base water at the table. You know, the water that the plant is in.
Yes. Oh.
She thought it was a glass of water.
Hey yo!
She just picked it up and was like, somebody was like, "That's the water that the plant is growing in." She thought it was like a varnish or something. On top of it.
Man, damn,
that's very funny.
Damn, Thai girl, damn.
Dummy.
That's hilarious.
Speaking of which,
Oh,
I was
man.
thinking about some stuff to do while you. Sorry for completely interrupting the show.
No,
You're
you're good. You're good.
I was thinking of some stuff we could do when you guys are in San Francisco just to have a laugh. And I
Yeah.
was thinking you guys probably don't have driverless cars where you live, so we should
No.
take those around.
I'm
'Cause
actually
like,
interested in the AI.
I have the app, like I order that instead of Uber. I order like the driverless
Oh, so you've
car.
done it before multiple times?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
it's just a normal thing here. So
Wow. That
Yeah.
I'm very curious. I'm actually
you want to do
intrigued by
that? Hop,
Yeah, I'm actually intrigued by that.
hop in a driverless car and watch it drive us around the city. It's pretty funny.
It's
Probably a little
wild.
trippy, but
Have you ever taken that at night?
Yeah, dude, literally my neighborhood is like mostly those cars. They just drive around the neighborhood.
You got Skynet running around?
I will tell you though, they're the most polite driver because I jog, as you guys know, around my
Yeah.
neighborhood, and they're so like other drivers, they're always like, getting too close to the crosswalk, or they
Yeah.
stop a little too late for me to be comfortable. But the Waymos, dude, they chill. They're super alert drivers, really cautious at turns. Really appreciate that. So, yeah, I take them everywhere because it's so much cheaper than taking a Lyft because you don't have to pay for a human. You
Mhm.
don't have to deal with body odors. I hate that. But
Oh, yeah, that's true.
yeah, no
Attitude.
driver smells. That's fair.
no driver, no conversation.
Yes,
For a
I agree.
while, I had
Bruh.
I had my Lyft profile said I was deaf so that people wouldn't talk to me
Oh my
when I got
God.
an Uber when I got into the car. Yeah, you know what? I just don't like conversation. I'll do whatever
No,
it takes.
that is a little evil and genius at the same
At
time.
the same time.
Yeah. So anyway, now I don't have to do that because I just take driverless cars. But yeah, I'll make sure you guys get one when we're here.
Okay. Salute.
Interesting. I mean, there's other little details in the article that you guys
Yeah.
can read if you want to. I was just trying to kind of hit on some of the high stuff. Chill clip also for the slower charging fusion rifles outside of Riptide will be 2 shots to freeze instead of 3.
Yes, that's fair.
So if you got any of those, they're not going to be quite as useless.
Chilly chill.
Yep. So other things that happened this week, we got a preview of a couple exotic weapons.
Yeah.
First one. Now this is not a new guy. This is an old guy. We got the Kvastov.
Interesting.
Coming back to final shape. Obviously auto rifle, pretty sure it's kinetic. And it looks like the idea is it says every 7th shot ricochets. So it bounces, but when it bounces, it looks like it bounces between 1, 2, 3, 4.
They need a new keyword for what that gun does because I would not describe that as a ricochet.
It's all I'm like
that's like a super ricochet.
Yeah.
Well, it's like tracking ricochet or something. It's doing a lot more than normal. So the ricochet bounced between 4 different enemies and killed them. So maybe interesting for ad clear. It's kind of something. Chain shot or it's like goes off. I'm sure there's plenty of games that I've played where if you hit something, then whatever it is goes somewhere else and they have a good name for it.
Yeah.
I cannot think of that right now to save my life though, but I know other games have for sure had that functionality. So Kvastov's coming back. I don't know if I'm that excited about it. Have to see it in action. Yeah, it's like chain lightning, but it's just like chain bullet. It's kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy little whistle, the little arrow thing goes around and goes to a couple guys. Now, this one's interesting. We have a heavy trace rifle. It's called Microcosm. I can't quite tell the damage type on it, but it does do massive bonus damage to shields. But I can't tell if it's causing... See, it looks like one where he's firing at the Hydra. It's like a ignite. I don't know if it's going to collect up like a damage type or...
There's a rumor that it may be prismatic.
That would make sense, that it would kind of go along with what you're using, or...
Yeah, because you're a big Arbalest guy, and then they're saying that being that it has that functionality with shield breaking, because it almost doesn't sound sexy by itself. Like, by itself, it's just like,
and you're like, cool,
okay,
you can break shields. I'm like, for a
okay,
heavy
so
weapon?
what?
Yeah, like, what am I going to do with that? Because you've got, what's the arc one? Or
as far
no,
as
is it arc? What's the one where you can kick it into high gear and it burns your super, but it does actually a lot of DPS? Oh, that's the ice one, isn't
you
it?
talking about Aegis Scepter from Stasis?
Yeah, Agri Scepter.
Yeah, Aegis Scepter. So yeah.
But yeah, that one, like you're like, okay, so I'm gonna burn my super, but I'm gonna do DPS like a crazy person. Like that at least made this one, yeah, it's like they're not showing all the clips or all the perks right now, because I think Prismatic would make sense, because I don't even, it's like a white thing and we're not going to get a heavy stasis one right now. That would seem odd. So it does seem like it's, because there's one where it does fire and then it just explodes. So I can't tell if it's just causing the damage to explode.
Yeah.
It's really hard to kind of.
There's a rumor that these may be kinetic. That may be kinetic, and that these are things that they're going to try to synergize with a prismatic subclass. That, remember, I believe when you do kinetic damage or something like that, you get more of the new secondary, what they call it, super, where you do your thing, whatever. I believe that all that stuff kind of contributes to it. So we'll see. But yeah, I think they're being very minimalist with the perks in the trailers for a reason, because by themselves they don't seem to be enough, so to speak. Yeah,
feels like they're gonna have to kind of synergize paracausal weapons. It's like, well, Mr. Warlock, what do you think of your exotic? Your arcane needles cause a suspending detonation.
Got a little Titan NV right now. I think you guys are the clear winners of this exotic showcase. You guys put down your little barricade, you get your rockets. I mean, look, the needle thing, I like this strand needle melee overall. I think it's strong, but it's like, okay, yeah, you're suspended, but I'm like, I could use a suspend grenade for that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a more pronounced suspension with the thing, but I need to see more of it. I mean, maybe it is effective, but right now I'm like, it's okay. I'm not like wowed, so I felt like, you guys got the better deal here with the exotic. But how are you feeling about it? How's the Titan delegation feeling about,
the rockets?
Yeah.
It's not. I just can't quite decide what. It's always what you give up in the world of exotics.
Fair enough. I know where you're going now.
It depends on if I'm running Arc, am I ever gonna not want to have Thunder Crash be a beast? For staying alive, Precious Scars right now is an absolute monster. It's not bad to have the extra. I mean, how often did you get your class ability up? I mean, they did make sure those things aren't quite as frequent as they used to be.
Right.
So, I mean, hunters aren't dodging like crazy. Your barrier's a little bit slower because PvP issues, stuff like that. I don't know what this is going to do for PvP, messing people up. I'm not sure if it's more PvE. It doesn't feel like PvE damage beast. It doesn't, for whatever reason. I can't, it's not striking me that way. Now, I may be missing something. If it's just a way to put a wall and then you can just, one-shot a champion with your barricade, that might be a different story if you can just get that much damage, but it feels like it wouldn't be that strong, or it would be OP. That's my take on it. Arc aspects create bouncing explosives. I don't know if the hunters are going to be that excited about theirs either. And then there's also better devils in that trailer as well, which was a whole thing. So
yeah,
Grand Overture with barricade and auto rockets. I mean, there's gonna be potential for it, but again, like, would I use the barricade with auto rockets to do a little bit of DPS, or would I go do Thunder Crash, or have, I don't know. I don't know.
The strand one.
Yeah, the strand one where you get like triple suspend waves going out.
Yeah, that kind of cool.
It just kind of depends on what build it would go with, I guess, to see where it would fit. I think that's going to be kind of the big thing. I mean, if you do something like Void, it's a very defensive build. So maybe if you're using your Void shield barricade more frequently, maybe, and you have that set up to be alive more often, but then that thing now shoots, maybe it's a little offense to go with your defense.
I got you. I see where you're coming from. Everybody's good.
Sorry, random wrong number is texting me, and it was like the name I didn't quite know, but then I was like, no. And they're like, so the text was, last Friday at Ginny's birthday party, we had a great time talking and exchanging numbers. Aren't you Anna? I'm like, nope, wrong number.
That is a scam. No one is that descriptive in their opening text message.
No, that was the second one. The first one was like, "Hey."
Oh.
So it was like that was like the third
Got
text I got there. But either way, I'm like, no. That's why I was like, "Hey, do you remember me?" I'm like, "You got to remind me where you think I know you from." So, then they go into enhancements. So you're going to be able to. They talk about obviously if you've got weapons right now that have enhanceable perks, you're going to be able to enhance most weapons up to certain levels. So you can have like multiple columns, left column, right column. I mean, you can have a Luna's Howl that has 4 enhanced perks on it. So if you still farm in any of the onslaught weapons and you get some good ones, you can just max everything out eventually if you get it up there. I don't probably need to go through all of that in full minutia.
No.
Doesn't seem like it. But if something is not craftable, the enhanceable version, especially like Master or Adept or Harrowed or all of those different drops you'd probably be getting if you've been doing Pantheon, those drops will all potentially be enhanceable. So they're bringing non-craftables up to be enhanced and therefore compete. Mementos, you can carry 3 now. Woohoo.
Yes.
They're reducing fragment costs in Final Shape. I'm sure that's probably more important for Prismatic since there's like 20 of those things or something like. There's a lot of fragments for Prismatic.
Oh yeah.
And then of course they cover Rolk and all of his fun stuff. 0 hours back. Have you guys run 0 hour?
Not yet. I'm planning on running soon.
It's on my list.
Yeah,
it's on my list.
It's fun to go back. I did actually remember the Trevor maze. First time I went through, I was like, I think this is it. Managed not to die the first time. Didn't finish it the first run through because I was just going through solo test and everything. And then there's Legend, you're going to want to group. There's the puzzle in there that they've got, the floors to run through, the little fire room section where you got to be on the right panels of the floors. That stuff's still there. It's a fun mission to go through. If anybody hasn't experienced it before, it is a very cool mission. Absolutely. Glad to have them both back in the game. Outbreak Perfected. Obviously, you're going to want to go through and run that a few times to unlock all the perks. And I think Rapid Hit's going to be, I forget what the optimal, I haven't even done it on Legend yet, so I don't even know. Yeah, Sin said he finished Legend both times with 30 seconds left. I mean, it's...
All right, I got you, Sin.
And I don't know if he did that solo. He probably did that in a group. That's what I'm saying. Like, those running it solo right now, that's some very optimal running through that one. I mean, I got the opening pretty reasonable. But yeah, there's a brig in the opening section when you go through and do like, you'll go through the first tunnel, you'll have the room, and then you get to the one where there's like the arc shanks, the little snipers up top, and the couple heavy shanks. Well, there's also a brig in there.
Really?
Yeah, so now it's a smaller brig, not a beast brig, but it's still a brig that you cannot crit. That is my only annoyance, and I can't remember who tweeted about those. There's no way to really get good damage, so I mean that's the point where you got to bust a super to try and get them. So I mean I did heavy machine gun on everything to try and build up my super, switched over to Pyro Gale, dumped Pyro Gale into the brig so then I could keep pushing on just for a solo run. That helped for time. But yeah, the brigs are spongy. That's kind of the thing. Dragon's Breath and Celestial Nighthawk. Well, sure.
Yeah.
Titan build is going to be Pyro Gale, same way.
Yeah.
For Dragon's Breath might honestly be a thing for the brigs, just because I can't think of many other things that are going to cook it that way.
Break it down. Yeah. For me, what I usually do against them in Onslaught is when I run, surprisingly, Geomags destroys them things. But because it just you got to constantly get to that crit to unlock that crit from the damn break. Yeah, so the concentrated. Yeah, but yeah, Dragons. That's a good one.
Dragon's Breath and clear the field. Yeah, that's smart.
Clear the field.
What are you using to clear the field? I know some people are using. I saw I think Mana was running Risk Runner at a point, which is still good because it's a lot of arc in there, and you've got the resistance. I was like, haven't seen that weapon come out in a while, so it's funny to see that type of stuff get pulled out of the vault. It's fun though. Yeah, but Legend will definitely give you a run for your money. They'd put like a whole comic in here, so if you want to read through that, obviously I'm not going to read a comic, so you want to go check that one out. It's in there.
Why not? This is bullshit.
I'm not going to read it on stream. If you want
I thought we were serious about Destiny, but I guess
we out here playing around.
Yeah, apparently we're amateurs.
Too funny.
But yeah, so next week we will get the final Pantheon with Nezzy and Riven. That's gonna be the hard one because I think up to this week,
I'm scared.
I was seeing a little. This one's gonna be an interesting. I'm curious.
I'm scared of this one.
I'm curious to hear about your your run.
I'm worried about the rogue, and you didn't even mention anything about the tormentors. So y'all just wiped them tormentors out in the first part?
See, on the stairs.
Yeah.
Can't think if it's. I think it's 2 tormentors. One at kind of your first dunk in between moment, and then kind of one right before the end before you go up for DPS. They're not bad. They really weren't. It was just kind of when they're out, like everybody's kind of clearing ads. So I think just when they pop up, people tended to focus them. I mean, I had what was I using? Because I had Cloud Strike on and then Grenade Launcher. So I was just using a primary scout rifle. It was probably like a hung jury with like kinetic trimmers or something ridiculous. And I was just kind of shooting them some, but I think just everybody team shotted them pretty quick. So I don't know if others were focusing them down way quicker, but they weren't bad. I mean, they were not like an issue for us for that one. The biggest issue is the shade, just depending on placement of when you're jumping around. Because if you're running from Rolk, charging, and then you're kind of going across and the shade slowly walking over,
right there.
Or if you're focused on Rolk and you're like, "Where's the shade? He's behind me, isn't he?" It's one of those moments.
Jesus. You got to focus on the DPS and move
and the DPS is, it just makes the arena, you really can't do so much standing around. It is a lot of movement based. That's why it's, having Divinity, having the crit spot, Cloud Strike is just do as many shots as I can get off when that clip is empty. I'll switch over, and then kind of once he dashes, then I will dump my cascade point kind of thing. So it's,
and I'm assuming you'll run no Warlock wells because of the chaos.
They would drop a couple.
Okay.
Probably partially for ads is a little bit of a place to stand just to kind of start.
Yeah.
We did Thunder Crashes for 1 or 2 of us. I think Cactus and I both ended up running that. Those help. Golden Gun probably popped in there. So, I mean, some DPS, some wells, but the wells were not doing a ton. And I don't think they were really helping. So if you went more DPS, you probably could be more efficient, I would think. Yeah,
I might go mags and thing in there because it's like, yes,
I don't know if you want to do geomags and hang that long though in one spot. The only thing you would want to either be mobile with like, I mean, I would think maybe like solar, you could stay in the air and be mobile. Nova Bomb, just dump it and fire. Like Nova Bomb might help you a little bit to be able to just go.
I just want that solar. I want that arc buff, that 25%. I'm trying to be optimal. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my thing. But I see what you said because you got to be there. And this guy's chasing you and moving around. Yeah. I'm just curious. I just want to run it just to see. That's right. Then if it fails, I'll go back to
I just feel like Geomags do actually last a long time, and I don't know if Geomag is going to be in comparison to dumping Cloud Strike and like a grenade launcher in that same amount of time. I don't know. If it's going to add
in terms of like in conjunction with like a burst super. But somebody made a good point, Zach. Grand Lock super is really cool too, like a burst super for a lock.
Yeah, something you just want like a one-off.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm just gonna be useless as a well lock. Is in that encounter. The beauty of rogue encounter is you cannot stay in a well with him.
Yeah, no.
The way he's constructed, he's moving around. It's useless.
But I mean, you could pop it and still get like your initial kind of thing.
True.
So, I mean, depending on where you're at, you could do a couple of you spread around, like have 2. Somebody else is probably picking up orbs. Like I was picking up your orbs for explosive light for me. Like that was. There were benefits.
That's a good point. Yeah, man. I'll get up in there, and I gotta get a 0 hour popping just to get that. And I want to see how the new outbreak.
By the way, the weapon.
What? Yeah, apparently it's craftable with new perks. Outbreak perfected.
Yeah. Trying to remember what the perks. I don't know if it's gonna.
No rapid hit and some other thing. I'm curious how that's going to be in there in the new sandbox, especially with the pulse is going to be crazy now. What the next update?
So rapid hit, rewind rounds, head seeker, and outlaw.
Rewind? Ooh, like that.
Rewind would be good. I mean, rapid hit's still good too, but rewind is also for that longer.
Yeah. I feel like it could shoot forever with rewind.
And I'm wondering with the hits if the little parasites count, so you get even long. I'll be kind of curious how that plays. So I mean, that rewind, like head seeker, PvP, outlaw, not really that exciting for me. But I would say for having the option of that longer DPS, either rapid hit for just a quick reload back in it, but rewind has kind of the potential to just unload.
Yep, get them receiving nanites popping.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up? Yeah, Teddy's doing rapid PvP. Rewind
Rewind
PV.
PV,
My
yep.
man. Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
I feel like that's kind of what we got for the time being. Somehow.
Yeah.
I went through that a little. I mean, I was like, I didn't want to go through and like bore the minutia of this
Yeah,
percent here, this percent here.
it's a
This like,
lot. Yeah, it's
you
a
want to
lot.
see all the minutia? There are
Yeah.
other videos, or just read.
Yeah, the main
Appreciate
thing
it.
is
I don't want to see that minutia.
Yeah, it was a
say.
lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, the main thing is some, offenders we knew was coming, and they're making some archetype buffs here and there. But yeah, this is a lot. Last thing I'll say is like they made a lot of quality of life changes. I felt for getting people in for final shape and stuff like that. Overall, I felt like a lot of entry level stuff with the specs. Because think about it, so many new people come in that don't have a taken spec mod and the boss spec. Saying all this stuff. Like they're trying to like synergize and make that entry.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like it makes it the obvious choice. So now you have a little more flexibility. Mag does feel like the default. Just more bullets to shoot is probably where a lot of people are going to go. Grenade launchers with extended mag, kind of like that'll give you at least maybe one more to go on top of that one. Some will make a little less sense. I mean, rocket launcher, quick access sling, probably for just the handling part of it, because you're not going to get too much in the way of damage or anything. You don't need stability or counterbalance or anything on a rocket launcher. Those kind of moments are a thing.
Yeah.
I had the fun moment too, where it was I got a mountaintop, and I think it was, I can't remember if it was a shiny one or not. And it's oh no, I did. I got a mountaintop. I got it with Ambitious and Rampage, Lead for Gold, and Vorpal. So not amazing, because I don't love Ambitious on there. Autoloading is kind of.
You prefer having.
I think autoloading's better just for how that one's used, because it is one where you can shoot, reload, and like kind of do other stuff, and then always just bring it back out for the one. It's not one where the envious or ambitious. I feel you'll get the two, but then you'll have.
Then what? Yeah, I got you. And then for DPSs and stuff like that, with switching and stuff, I got you.
But I got the Masterwork Blast Radius, which on Mountaintop actually is making it worse.
Worse, yeah.
So I was like, my shiny is shitty. I got a shitty shiny.
Yeah.
Shitty shiny.
I got a bunch of those too.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. Most of my I don't know if I've kept one shiny. Most of the ones that I've seen that I can remember that are not from the quests or whatever, junk. Absolute junk status.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah,
Same thing with me and my Pokemon shinies, bro. Every time I get a shiny in Pokemon, it's got the worst CP stats, dude. It's terrible.
Hilarious.
What? Just me?
Hilarious.
Just me playing Pokemon.
Auto Reconstruct and Ambitious Vorpal. Both.
Yeah, I'm a huge recombination fan on the Mountaintop.
Yeah. Oh.
Huge.
It's got recon.
Yep. Oh, bro.
That's the one.
That's the play.
Yeah. See, I just haven't got that many drops on it yet.
Bro, I got it. Auto. I got the roll you want. Auto and recon.
Nice.
Yeah. My regular rolls are good. I just buy shitty shinies.
Yeah.
All of them are garbage. But as far as the regular ones, yeah, I've been good, because you just build that thing up, and I actually like running that with Parasite, because it's like a whole burst damage kind of a build. Kill with the primary. Everything gets built up.
Yep.
Let off one recombination 20 stack Mountaintop. Boom. Let off a Parasite. Whatever. I got an appreciation for that joke.
Yeah, I need to grind. I need to grind more Onslaught. I just I
gotta get back in there.
Have not been as compelled to just grind that one out as much.
No,
it's just
casual.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I feel you.
But yeah, I think next week
Onslaught is boring. Hate to say it, guys. Pretty boring.
Next week, what?
Next week's gonna be the tough one. Next week is gonna be the because I think some people were even struggling a little bit with Rolk and planets and stuff. I was watching streams and it was like, hey, they're still on this encounter kind of thing. So it's not going quite as smooth. Not the Salta Grappo 30-minute run kind of thing. So it's gonna take a little longer. And then next week will be full test.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know of too much else, but this has actually been a shorter show.
A little light week. Not technically, but light overall.
Yeah, I mean, plenty of stuff I want to play. Like I want to go play Hades, but I haven't started that because I want to just play a lot of it. But in between other things, I'm like kind of getting. I'm like 2/3. I'm almost done with like Act 3 of V Rising.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like
They
that's
fixed a major thing in Hades today that made it a lot better.
really. I saw patch
yeah.
1.1 dropped. I wasn't sure what that was.
Well, there was this like this thing where you could only take one like resource harvesting piece of equipment with you on each run. So if you had the pickaxe, you could mine resources, and if you had the fishing rod, you could fish. And there's like 6 of those, and you had to pick one. And then every run, you would not be able to fish if you didn't have the fishing pole with you on that run, etc. It was super annoying. And now they're like, all right, you can bring all of them with you, but the one that you pick will be like increased chances of showing up, and so you'll get more of that resources. So yeah, it's like it makes more sense because that was like really annoying. That was the first thing I was like, what? Why did they make it this way? So
yeah, I mean that's part of early access. Like, I mean, I know Hades is going to be fantastic. I've only heard awesome things about it, so that'll be.
It's truly great.
Yeah, it's no, and I've heard it's almost, if not bigger than Hades 1 with the content that I had already in early access. That one's crazy. I know No Rest for the Wicked is working on some updates for kind of like respecs in there.
That game's cool.
Yeah,
that one being as I've heard I've heard a couple times when I was playing a little more. Like most of what we're seeing is kind of like Act 1, and then they're kind of looking for very long-term support for the game. So I feel like that game is going to be a whole massive journey by the time they're done with it. I'm really excited to see what they do with that one.
Speaking of excited, I can now talk about what I'm playing.
Do it, yeah.
Yes. A shout out to Ninja Theory team over there in the UK. But yeah, I'm actually playing Hellblade 2. I can now talk about it, and we'll have the embargo lifted on Tuesday, and then I can talk about it in further in my impressions. But yeah, I'm actually playing it right now. So salute to the good friends over there in Xbox.
Jelly.
Yeah, man.
Not playing it.
You look like that GIF that the kid. He's like, happy for you, great,
happy for you. That's good.
Yes, I was
good for you, bro. Okay. I love that.
I love that one. It's so funny.
Yeah,
Kid is
it's such
so
a good
upset.
image. Such a good reaction image.
Oh yeah. That's about it. So I'll be getting back to that amongst other things. Trav, how many 16,000 reviews and things you do? How many studios you traveling to now?
Well, I was supposed to be at one this week, but that didn't happen. Destin. Yeah. No, I actually I've got some big projects coming up, but reviews are really slow this month, which is why we're reviewing old games. So that's been really cool. And then yeah, I can't talk about any of the upcoming stuff, but I think reviews are going to start picking up again this next month. And so for now, I'm just using the extra time to plan my wedding, catch up on some Destiny, and hopefully lose some weight. I don't know. Yeah, what are we doing? Gotta get swole before my wedding. Gotta get that 6-pack. Gotta get those cum gutters. So you gotta do that. What? You gotta have that, bro. Sir? Yeah, for sure.
Listen here, sir.
Ebontis is muted, which is perfect for this moment.
Which is perfect for this moment.
He can't stop me, bro.
Oh no, you're about to get removed from the podcast. Yeah.
Again.
Hey,
I want you guys to know.
It'd be great if you could choose to not say those kind of words. Just throwing it out there. What's up, Alex? How you doing, bud?
Oh, what's up, man?
Yeah, by the way, Teddy offered to be on the show, alternating weeks with me if you guys want him.
Alternating weeks.
Just pretend like it's just me. Just nobody will notice.
Tag another guy.
Tag him in.
Messy.
I'm just saying, there are some things that do not need to be said on a video game podcast.
Some things that absolutely need to be said.
That's
hilarious.
Like that really wasn't one of them, but that's fine.
Anywho, it's just like your opinion, man.
Yes, it is my opinion. But as I'm the one hitting stream, I'm hitting the go live button. My opinion has a bit of weight here.
I don't know about all that.
Jelly much about this. Oh yeah, they killing you with deceit jokes. Wide look. Yeah, they going extra. Your awesome one is on it.
Well, you guys have been a fantastic audience. My co-hosts have been great. And you guys will see us here next week. Now, next week is 23rd, then we have the 30th. So we got 2 more. I don't know if we will do a show during Final Shape week, mostly because that's day before raid, prepping, all that stuff.
Mode.
Just gremlin mode.
What if we just did like a
Travel.
30-minute one? What if we just like were like 30 minutes?
5 minutes. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Cool.
Hey guys,
all right.
that's
See you guys. All right. Great. Bye.
That format works for, Fire Team chat. We get in and get out pretty quick, and it's a lot more manageable every week if you just
3 geeks
say,
with
hey,
the
we're not-
$10 super chat and the reminder. Good luck to my chair. Good luck to my
Dude,
chair.
3 geeks. You just earned my lifetime admiration, bro. That is the coolest comment.
Good luck, Fern.
Fern is doing the Lord's work.
Dude, Fern
how we knew thee.
Yes.
Fern is both crushing it and being crushed. It's a tough tightrope to walk, but he's doing it, man.
That is quite the razor's edge right there, I would say.
Yeah. Good on him, man.
Tell you, man. Not all heroes wear capes.
I don't know if I'm
know-
gonna.
you know
I
I
might
like
actually
you,
have to
right?
go back and mute the podcast for the little bit there. I got to go back and I have
Wait,
to
really?
listen to it again.
Could
Why?
go back to
Why are you
competitive.
muting? That's its official term, bro. I'm just talking about a part of the body.
Anyway, all right, guys, thank you very much. Episode number 296. We are very close to 300, by the way.
Wow,
So
holy wow.
during June, whenever live shows happen, somewhere in there, we will have 300. So you guys have been here for one or most all of them. Thank you for however long you've been listening. Go follow these gentlemen. Listen to Defining Duke. Listen to all of Travis's reviews. Go also to the website and hit refresh a few times for some good clicks. And check out my coverage here, my streams, since I'm finally getting back to healthy as well. But overall, you guys have been fantastic, keeping me on my toes as always. And everyone, pour one out for my chair because next week, apparently, I'm going to need a new one. Thanks, everybody. And it has been
The last
word.
Last word. The last chair. That was good. Oh man, shout out to Hayward.